Greetings, YouTube, and a very happy Friday, depending on if you own these older champions. First off, we knew that Guillotine would be buffed after the community voted. We just didn't know when. Now, I am crossing my fingers as somebody who actually loves Guillotine, that she becomes like Guillotine 2099 level valuable. But that is the underscore of this video because vegan Thor, and I call him a vegan because he looks like he has gone vegan with little protein in his diet. He's way too skinny. He's way too weak. And even though he does have some interesting utility if you know how to play him well, he still leaves a lot to be desired. Now, he wasn't nearly as neutered or nerfed to the ground as OG Thor. If you don't know how good OG Thor used to be, there are videos on YouTube from years ago, pre-patch 12.0, that I invite you to look up because he was a 4-star doing 7-star damage. But here we have Vegan Thor and Guillotine officially announced as a buff from Kabam in the past 24 hours. Many of you reaching out to me with this image this morning. And I just have to say, I like Guillotine's healing. Sometimes when they buff champions, and I think about somebody like Miles Morales, it sort of feels like you have to reintroduce yourself to their mechanics because they're buffed enough to where they kind of change. Now, that could be a good thing. Miles doesn't have to worry about the random evades anymore, messing up parries on offense. But ultimately, the question is, for most of these buffs, are they enough to make you, one, rank up the champion that was previously, let's say, unranked up, and then two, most importantly, are you going to use them every day? Because the thing about this game that's kind of the elephant in the room, because you only get 3 attackers in War and Alliance Quest and 5 attackers in General Questing, 95% plus of your 5 and 6-star roster, even if they're the best champions in the game, can't be used. Now, Kabam has given us a little bit of a different incentive for our roster, given the Cavalier Event Quest nodes being specifically designed to encourage you to bring certain classes depending on the chapter. And I think that's effective. I know that I would not use many of the champions normally in questing that I use in Cavalier Event Quest had I not had those boosts and sort of like node buffs to the right class depending on the chapter. But in general, I haven't brought these champions in to, say, Act 7.2 or the Gauntlet or other pretty hard content. So I definitely think the takeaway is finally, I hope, my dream would be for Vegan Thor not only to get way more OP, but to actually somehow expand his size on screen. I get that that's not going to happen. But this Thor looks like he has been starving for months. And Guillotine, well, I just want her to be really fun. And I still think she's fun. She was actually one of my first Awakened 4-stars back in the day. It was Guillotine and Hulkbuster and Mrs. Marvel as my top 3 champions for a while. Especially in, the old version of Map 5. So, I have a special place in my heart for Guillotine is what I'm saying. I don't even have a special place in my stomach for Vegan Thor. But I'm hopeful that he can be buffed and to a degree that puts him on par with some of the better champions in his class. I also hope that OG Thor at some point gets a buff. Let's be real. OG Thor, Doctor Strange especially, but even Black Widow, certainly both inferior Iron Mans and Captain America World War II, but especially OG Captain America. The Avengers deserve such a buff. I was explaining to somebody the other day that I had opened an Avenger. In this case, it was OG Captain America. And they're like, oh, that's awesome, right? He should be really powerful in the game. I'm like, you'd think. But no, he sucks. They're just looking at me like, who designs the game? How is that possible? Well, early on, they were just making champions to make champions. Now, I'm sure the process is way more complex, especially talking to Kabam Broccoli about how he designed Apocalypse. Compare the design of Apocalypse and all the time it went into to OG Iron Man, right? Or even superior Iron Man, who oftentimes feels like inferior Iron Man. And it's a joke. It's a joke to see that difference. So, yay, finally, great news for the community. Are you pumped up about these buffs? Let me know in the comments. Have a great rest of your day.